Hi, I'm Letitia, and I'm going to talk about water kefir grains today. I picked up the water kefir grains at a local health food store. You can order them online. You can even go on Craigslist, and people usually have lots of extra grains that they'll give you for free or they'll sell you. These are dehydrated kefir grains, and so and you'll need different. There's water kefir grains, and then there's milk kefir grains, and you don't really use them interchangeably, so you'll have to get water kefir grains. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in about a half cup of hot water to 1/4 cup of organic sugar, and just kind of let that dissolve a little bit. Organic sugar is going to take longer to dissolve. You also want to use non-chlorinated water, and if you're using like a water filter for reverse osmosis or something where it takes all the minerals out, you're going to want to maybe add some minerals into your water. We use a Berkey water filter, but you can also use, if you don't want to use sugar, you can use raw honey. You can use, I'm going to put a little shot of molasses in just for the extra minerals in the molasses to help the kefir grains. You can use agave, you can use maple syrup, you can use pretty much any sweetener. I would just use organic things. But I'm just going to put maybe a teaspoon of molasses, very little, because molasses is really, really strong. And this is a quart jar, if you're not sure how large this is. And 1 quart is 4 cups of water. So any kind of jar that'll hold 4 cups of water if you don't have a quart jar. Now you don't want to put the kefir grains straight into the hot water because they are live cultured, so you're going to want to cool the water down some. Then you can go ahead and open this, which I don't have a knife, so go ahead and open this and then just dump your grains in. They're just kind of like they look a little bit like sugar grains. Now, if you don't put molasses in yours, your water's not going to look totally brown like mine. Coffee filter, because you want it to be able to breathe. And you can do a rubber band, or I'm just going to screw my little cap on. And you're going to want to keep this out of direct sunlight between like 68 to 78 degrees. To rehydrate the kefir grains, it's gonna take a few days, so 3 or 4 days. Come back in a few days, see how it goes. All right, so it's been 48 hours since we made our first water kefir grains. So we were reconstituting it. Today what you're gonna need is either a plastic strainer, or if you've got a plastic sprout top, that also works. If you don't like using plastic, you can use a cloth tea bag. So I'm just going to use the plastic strainer, and we're going to catch the water grains. Never use metal. Don't use metal colanders, strainers, funnels, anything like that. So normally this would be ready to drink, but since this is the first batch, it's not going to, I mean, I can take a taste of it, but it's not going to taste very good. Then what we're going to do is I've already pre-mixed a little bit of warm water with 2 tablespoons of sugar. And mine is dark because I put in just a teeny tiny bit of molasses. Molasses can really help with the kefir grains regenerating and kind of boost them and get them alive and get them going again. Depending on the company that you buy it from or the friends that you get them from, it can take a month or 2 for some people to get their kefir grains to really get moving and get reproducing. Some people, their grains start producing within the first batch or 2. All right, and then I'm using fresh water. Don't use chlorinated water. I'm going to remind you of that. If you don't have anything to filter your chlorinated water with, put it in a jar. You can cover it with a little cloth to keep anything from getting into it. Let it sit overnight or 24 hours, and the chlorine will evaporate, but the chlorine will damage the grains. When you go to taste it, which you should do often in the beginning to figure out what works for your house, it shouldn't be sugary, it shouldn't be like a sweet beverage. Most of the sweetness should be gone, and you can do a lot of different things with your kefir drink once you're done. So now, how much should you start taking? Because the reason why you're taking this is for gut health and to help detox your body and to just create a better gut microbiome. So in the beginning, I'd start with maybe a teaspoon to a tablespoon a day, kind of see how that goes. Depending on the health of your gut and depending on just your diet and your lifestyle in general will depend on if you'll actually have a detox effect. Most people won't, but you might. So just kind of watch your body and see how you feel. You can go all the way up to like 3 or 4 cups of this a day. If you want, you can do a second ferment with this. I'm not going to really go into that today, but it's very similar to kombucha if you already know how to do kombucha and do a second ferment. But some of the things that you could add in here are actual bits of fruit. You could add herbs to this. You could add herbal teas to this. You could add turmeric. You could add medicinal herbs. There's a couple different types of things that you can do, so we'll talk about that next time. I hope this helps. Look online. There's many different places to get water keeper grains. I checked on Amazon today. There's some places that you can buy on there that have really great reviews. Culturesforhealth.com I think is another place that you can order your grains from, and I hope you're feeling better and that you guys give this a try. Have a great day. Bye. We're having fly situations here. Like literally they're coming out of the woodwork fast. Okay, we'll just ignore it then. You could add, these flies are like really starting to land on everything and drive me crazy. Okay, I need to get a fly swatter because the next part is going to drive me crazy if it keeps landing on things. I have to stop 5 times. If I just kill a fly, no, seriously. It's like they smell the death of their ancestors. They do.